Won't you take me back to Tennessee?
The award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest info about hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. This episode is brought to you by GSM Outdoors, whose vision is to preserve the sportsman's legacy, fuel innovation, and enable the next generation of outdoor enthusiasts. Think outside. That's where you'll find us. Now, make welcome your host, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got an awesome show lined up for you today. It's kind of bittersweet, Don.
Yeah, a little bit. Hate to see this guy go, but on to bigger and better things, I'm sure.
Yeah, our guest today is Wally Akins. He's Assistant Chief of Wildlife, and he has decided to call it a career with the agency and move on to
quite a career it's been too.
Yeah, definitely been a great career. Going to spend some time with family and get into the outdoors more and hunting and fishing and things like that. So we're going to reflect on his career today. We're going to reflect on some deer hunting stories, some small game hunting stories, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's right in the middle of deer season right now, and good time to be outdoors, and a lot of other seasons are open. So
that's right, yeah.
I'm looking forward to diving into today's show. Wally, thanks for being here.
Yes, very welcome. Glad to be here myself and grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Don,
you want to hit a radio station before we dive too deep?
WJSQ in Athens, Tennessee is, we are all over the place at 6 a.m. there every day of the week pretty much.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Monday through Fridays, we're on, the only day we take off is Sunday. Because Monday through Friday, we're on at 6 a.m. with the WildCast Extras, and then the full show runs at that 6 a.m. on Saturdays. So awesome. We appreciate WJSQ 101.7 right there in Athens.
Just across the hill from where I grew up.
Exactly.
And where Wally worked for a long time.
Yes.
And
spent a lot of years there, so that's cool.
And where our theme song artist came from.
That's right. Yeah, it's kind of like old home week here.
Yeah, it's homecoming right now. Well, we mentioned who our guest was, Wally Akins, and we're excited to have him in studio today and reflect on his career. And but before I go too deep, I wanted to just touch on what's open right now. If you're wanting to get outside and get outdoors and do some hunting, right now is the time. Deer season's in full swing through January 4th, so get out there and enjoy that. Duck season's in full swing. Goose season's open. Small game seasons are open. Most of those are through February 28th, some longer. Your favorite time of year, Wally, grouse and quail open through the 28th. So get out there and do that. Chase some game birds. Just wanted to let folks know we're on the heels of the most recent commission meeting.
Right.
So if you want to go check that out, tnwildlife.org. You can watch it on our commission page, or you can click over to our YouTube channel.
Right.
And check that out.
We were on the road, Chattanooga.
Yeah. So down in southeast Tennessee.
Yep, in the aquarium property. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a neat setting there. A couple of things that are coming down the pike. Becoming an outdoors woman handgun class is coming in at Stones River. So if you want to do that, that's December the 20th. Women out there who want to learn more about handguns and get your name in the hat for that. tnwildlife.org, click events. All these will be listed there. There's a lot of virtual classes, hunter ed classes, and some other small game hunts coming up. So check out the events calendar. So let's dive in, Wally. Your career started where? Tell us where your career started. Where I remember you, or first remember working with you, was when you were at Hiwassee. You helped me with a paper. We'll dive into that. But where did you start when you started with the agency?
My first position with the agency, like most people, was a wildlife officer. So I started out in Hancock County. I think they sent me there because I was single. Because there's not a lot of work for the wives to do in that part of the world. But it's a great county. Had a lot of good memories from there, a lot of good friends that I made while I was up there. But it was a lot of deer and turkey in that county. And they had actually went without a wildlife officer for about 3 years before I got there. And there were other officers, of course, that come in and fill in from adjacent counties. But it was pretty wide open. Had a lot of activity going on at night.
Wide open. Yeah, I can imagine.
That shouldn't be going on. But, really good place to be, a lot of good folks. And like I said, I made a lot of good friends in that time. But I was there 2 years, and I came to Meigs County to get closer at home. I grew up in Monroe County, southeastern part of the state. And I was the officer there for about a year. And then unexpectedly, Hiwassee Refuge came open. The manager went to another state to work for another state wildlife agency. So I happened to put in for that position and got it. And I guess that was my ambition, to be on a wildlife management area to begin with. I certainly would not have traded the time as a wildlife officer, because of the experience you gained. You couldn't get it anywhere else or any other way. But so I was at Hiwassee Refuge. It took them a long time to hire a Meigs County officer at that time, so I was actually doing both for over a year.
Wow. Full plate.
Yeah, it was. But I was at Hiwassee for about 11 years. Great time there, great place, and then moved over to private lands. Our first, one of the first private lands positions we had when that program was first initiated. Mark Goodland, he was a former TWRA employee, was instrumental in getting that program started. Still going strong today, but I did that for about 6 years, and then went to the Region 3 office, and I was either a small game biologist there, then transitioned to a WMA coordinator over several WMAs in the region. And then for about almost a year and a half, I guess, was regional program manager before I became assistant chief of wildlife in Nashville.
Yeah.
Well, just reflecting back on your time at Hiwassee, I was in college writing a paper in my Tennessee history class, and I knew Wally from days in Meigs County, and I thought, I'm going to hit him up and see if I could come out to the refuge and do a little Tennessee history about the refuge and that kind of thing. Wrote a paper for my class, and that was a great visit. Got to tour the property and check it out, and it was fun times. I never thought I'd be working with you. The path that I thought I would go, and recording and things like that led to doing recording and video production for the agency. And here I am, and here we are, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
You just never know.
That's right.
My first introduction to Wally, too, was at Hiwassee, and Dan Hicks, who was our communications guy in Region 3 at the time, said, "Oh, man, this great guy that's out there managing the property. We need to go out there." And I think it was in conjunction maybe with maybe when they were flying the Sandhill Cranes in through kind of a training mission with the ultralights and that kind of stuff.
The International Crane Foundation out of Wisconsin coming down.
And ultimately, that led to the endangered
cranes.
whooping cranes.
Yeah, the whooping. Yeah.
Thank you. But that was a good program, and that was my first introduction, I think, when I got to meet you way back then.
Seems like a long time ago. It was a long time ago, but it just went by really quick.
Yeah.
And did the Crane Fest start when you were out there?
Let's see. When I first came to Hiwassee, I think we were on our third annual.
Okay.
I think that's right. And then, of course, it's carried on still today.
Yeah.
35, almost. Yeah. This will be 35th year, I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny that I got to looking at old waterfowl count records in 1988, which was way before I got there, 10 or so years, but 28 cranes was the peak number that winter. And now we have, of course, 10,000 or better.
It's funny. Yesterday I was out doing some errands in the driveway, carrying some stuff out to my car, and I heard an old familiar sound way up in the sky. I mean, they were up so high I could barely see them, but I could hear them clear as day. I said, called my wife out and said, come listen to this. Come listen to this. Can you hear that? Oh, yeah. I said, you won't hear anything else that sounds like this.
They're headed south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was probably, 25 birds maybe.
Yeah.
All in formation.
That's
heading
right.
south, as you said. You know, it was cool. But that festival has really grown over the years, and if you haven't ever been to it, you need to take it in. It's always the weekend of the leading up to the MLK Day
right.
on the Monday. The weekend just prior to that is when the festival happens, and it's well attended. And what I like to see is that map, where Mimi puts out a map that you can take a pin and poke wherever it is you come from. Man, there's pins from all over the country. Of course, a lot from the southeast, but gosh, from upper northern states, it's amazing how many people come to that festival.
When I was there, we'd have it on the Super Bowl weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. When they were playing the Super Bowl, I was walking through the crowd trying to, urge them, gates closed at 6 p.m., whatever, so I could go watch the Super Bowl. But didn't work usually.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's great.
That's funny.
Well, and in most recent times here at the agency, I've taken on the publications role, and you and I have been hand in hand on this, on the hunting guide and pulling it together. And I hope folks see the hard work and passion that goes into that guide, so that it's
a lot of work goes
complete
into that, for sure.
And Wally's been my right-hand man, making sure that's correct and getting it out to the public. So that's been a fun adventure.
You've done a lot of work with that, Jason. You should be commended. All the work.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, but it is a big task.
I couldn't do it without you guys, all the knowledge you guys have, and getting that information in there. So, well, I hope you enjoy retirement, and I know you will, and I look forward to hearing some stories from the field after retirement. But I wanted to hear some stories from the field.
Oh, yeah.
Today, I was listening to a meat eater podcast recently, Bear Grease, and they were telling some deer hunting stories, and I thought, how fun would it be to tell some stories on our show? And with Wally headed out, I thought, well, this would be a good episode for Wally to come on and share some stories from deer camp or something, and sure enough, you got some deer camp stories that would be great. So I look forward to hearing them.
And brief history. When I grew up in eastern part of the state, it's a different time. There was not many deer or turkey,
Right.
and small game hunting was the thing you did growing up, and that's what I done growing up. Rabbit, squirrel, quail, whatever. And I have many stories about that. Great times when we wasn't playing sports, we were squirrel hunting in the fall. But anyway, as I grew up, my dad hunted, of course, and then his friends, some were relatives, nephews, or cousins, and their sons, which are my age, we all deer hunted together. And we would go to the Cherokee National Forest and have a camp the week of Thanksgiving. They called it the 9-day hunt. And so did everybody else. I mean, it was hard to find a place to camp. You had to actually go, several days before, a week before, to get your spot to camp.
Wow.
And the hunting was crowded too. And like I said, not many deer in East Tennessee. There's more deer in Middle and West Tennessee. So you hunted the Cherokee or Catoosa, or a quota hunt like AEDC or Oak Ridge or Cheatham, someplace like that you put in for and make the trip. But that 9-day hunt was special, something we look forward to every year. And when we were all together, there was probably 14 or more of us hunters. And we would scout before, go weeks before and look for deer sign and try to, figure out the best place to go. And but the camp was what was so special about it.
Yeah.
And we stayed in campers. Had one first cousin that slept in the back of his truck sometimes, but crazy. But we had a tent, an army tent for our kitchen.
Okay.
So we would bring a real stove, a gas stove from we had stored up just for that week and cook. So I had great meals. We ate way too much. We probably gained weight, during the week.
Oh, you walked it off when you're hunting.
Yeah, and side note is a significant other or a mother's or whomever would bring a dessert, Of course, we would go in and out of the camp. It was the week of Thanksgiving, come home for Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, send us back with a cake or a pie. And when we were all there, we would probably eat that whole cake or pie a day. So we needed a new one the next day. But great times. We would kill deer. And my first, I was age 11 when I first started deer hunting with my dad, of course. And somebody out of that group would kill a deer, and there's still hard to kill a deer in the Cherokee, but we would kill one or two, sometimes two a year, that week, and just great times. But I never killed a deer in the Cherokee until I was 21. 10 years,
Wow.
And we hunted hard. We hunted, that week, and long days, out early, back to the camp late, but really good times there, and just the memories of the big fire. You had a big campfire, and some years is more cold than others, but you still had a good time and good memories right there.
Telling stories around the campfire. Right. There's always something about going with a group of people, or just even with maybe two other people. That conversation and stories that happen, and you get to experience it with somebody else. It's what makes hunting fun.
Right.
It's not to say it's not fun to go by yourself, but it's even more fun to experience it with others.
And sometimes you hear the same stories year after year, but they're still good. They're still funny, and it's the group of people you're with for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So,
so you got your son coming along too. That's showing some interest.
He's showing some interest in hunting, so I'm glad of that, and it's a good quality time to spend with your family and your friends. So
that's great.
I'm excited about that. He did shoot his first deer this weekend, but we couldn't find it. We tracked it and went back the next day. Could not find it, so he was not too discouraged. So he's still interested.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you said you had some action out there in the field.
Yeah, we were able to see deer about all day. Well, we just hunted that afternoon, but from 30 minutes after we got there till dark, we were seeing deer pretty often. So it was interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Thanksgiving was just a few weeks back, and it's always a great time to be out chasing deer, and even now, as this show's coming out, it's time. It's time to be out there, and good opportunities are still ahead. So, one other deer hunting story you mentioned before we started today, and I want to make sure we tell it, is a hunt out of AEDC.
Oh yeah,
that stood out to you.
Yeah, and there's many.
Were you working at this time?
No. This was. I think I was in college. In fact, I know it was. So it was before my time with TWRA, and so we drew a quota hunt at AEDC, and one of their hunting party had shot a doe, and we were blood trailing it through this grass field, or maybe underneath a power line. But all of a sudden, this nice 8-point pops up in front of the guy in the front, and he pulls up and shoots it. It runs straight away from him, pulls up and shoots it, and it immediately falls. So he goes and grabs the deer, and his right antler is barely hanging. It's still attached to the skin, but after the fact, he probably hit the deer right at the base of the antler and pretty much just knocked it out, because when he went to pick it up or get it, the deer stood up on him and tried to run away. So anyway, that was an escapade there we had. But
maybe we shouldn't share how he got it down.
Well, he was able to get it down, and somebody else shot the deer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we found the doe too, so that was good.
All right.
Successful
2
hunt.
for 2.
Yeah. That's part of that group of 12 or 14 of us that always hunted together. So
neat.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool to even, once you got into college and even throughout your life, you're still hunting with all your same friends and buddies. So that's cool. Well, I know nowadays you're running dogs, right? Enjoying game birds.
Yeah, as I mentioned, small game hunting was where I started, and as most people did then, wasn't too long ago. And in later years, I think it's been 14 or 15 years ago, I've got into bird hunting a lot more. I've had several dogs since then. Some, unfortunately, I've had to put down or an accident happened, but I now have two hunting dogs and try to spend a lot of time when I'm not working in pursuit of grouse or quail.
Yeah.
I guess grouse would be my number one, grouse and woodcock. And there's some success to be had in Tennessee, not as much, though, as in years past, I don't think. And most people travel out of state. The month of October is the month that we look forward to go somewhere around the Great Lakes states or, out west somewhere throughout the year to hunt upland birds. Mm-hmm. And certainly that's what I'd like to try to do.
Yeah.
Third week of October, if you could time it right, to go somewhere up north. This year we made a trip to Minnesota. Never been to Minnesota hunting. I've been to that state, but not hunting, and it was a good experience. But we've hit all those states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Maine. I really like Maine. It's been a few years since I've been there, but hopefully I can keep that going. I think some friends, we have a trip kind of tentatively planned in September to go to Montana this coming year.
Oh,
so
good.
Try some prairie grouse. Look forward to that trip. But
That's awesome.
I might try to get out to the Midwest even this winter for quail, Kansas or Texas, somewhere like that. So
that's very cool. Well, speaking of quail, share some of the work that you've been involved in, the efforts and the success that we're seeing now with a few quota hunts that we're able to offer.
Yeah,
as an agency. Well,
and give a lot of credit to our field staff, our WMA managers that have really put in a lot of extra work. And as everybody knows, quail is an upland game bird that's been in serious decline for the last 40 years or 50 years. And we still have quail hunting opportunity on private lands in Tennessee and certain other WMAs, today across the state. They have shortened seasons on our WMAs than private land, but on the Cumberland Plateau and Region 3, we've put in some extra work to really enhance that habitat over there on the WMAs and keep that population boosted up and keep it at a high enough level that we can sustain some kind of limited quail hunting. Uh-huh. And last year we had the first quail quota hunt in Tennessee, and it was on the Bridgestone-Firestone Wildlife Management Area. I think all of the hunters had a great time. Now, you wouldn't know that by their bag, how many birds they killed, but they certainly had great opportunity. And, getting out there in that habitat that quail represent, that old field type setting with dogs and with your family or friends is what it's all about. And you can ask all of the ones that got to participate, they were very well satisfied with the opportunity they received. So now is to try to build on that even and create more hunting routes or hunting days on other WMAs as well. So hopefully in the next near future, the next year or two, we can start adding to that. And the long-term goal is to, have multiple WMAs with multiple hunting days or the opportunity to hunt quail.
Yeah.
So wild birds too. So
we had some guests on that were part of that that hunt, and man, you talk about satisfaction. You're exactly right. They were so excited to be there and experience that, and
right.
It's kind of like you mentioned in the deer camp. The camaraderie that they felt, and it was a father, son, grandson combination that we got to interview. It was so neat.
Yeah. So hopefully, and I'm confident that'll keep going. I think we'll keep building on that. So it's a great sport to be out in that, like I said, that habitat that bird represents, and the memories you make with your family and friends.
And habitat's so important.
It is.
With the
it
quail,
certainly is. And, we're losing that across the state, across the eastern United States, basically, with development going on and intensive agriculture. So, and working with private landowners, I think, is key to sustain the population of quail in Tennessee. And I think most landowners want to do the right thing. They feel that it is their obligation to not be harmful to wildlife. Mm-hmm. They just don't know how, or don't, need somebody to tell them what to do, or
it's a constant,
steer them in the right direction.
Constant education process,
that's right.
Isn't it?
That's right, and that's why I think our private lands program is so important.
Yeah,
and certainly work with our partners on that. Not just Quail Forever, which is a big part, but National Wild Turkey Federation and Rough Grouse Society. We have a private lands person working associated with the Rough Grouse Society. That is really critical in success of these populations to thrive and sustain themselves.
Well, and we manage a very, very small percentage as an agency of property across the state.
That's right.
There's a lot of acres, but it's a small percentage compared to private land. So
that's right, less than 5% or around 5%. We have 1.6 million acres in our WMA system. TWRA does not own all those acres. A lot of those are with cooperative agreements with other agencies, but that's a very small percentage. So, you do have to rely on private landowners to, sustain not just small game like quail or species in decline, but even deer and turkey.
Mm-hmm.
The management of those species is important on private lands.
Yeah. Well, I want to mention small game real quick. Walking out of the deer blind this past weekend and jumped a rabbit. So maybe I'm doing something right. I got some rabbits and stuff running around on my farm. But small game hunting is very important and fun to get out there and do.
That's right. And, I think kids that start out small game hunting tend to stick with hunting the rest of their life. And I mentioned that's something we did growing up. Like I said, we didn't have that many deer. And where I grew up is, unfortunately, a lot more houses now, but back then you had hunters most Saturday mornings walk across the hillside, rabbit or quail hunting, so it's neat.
Yeah, it's fun to get out there and chase any type of game.
Yeah.
Just to be outside and be outdoors and enjoy what the creation and just spend time with family and friends. There's no better time. So.
That's right.
And no better time than now, the fall, football season, time to get outside, do some hunting and fishing.
That's right.
You can fish all year long. So there's great opportunities. And speaking of fishing, the winter trout stocking program is in full swing. So if you want to chase some trout, check that out on our website, tnwildlife.org. But Wally, thank you for stopping in and in your final days here, and appreciate all that you've done for the agency.
It's certainly a pleasure and an honor to work for the agency with all the folks that associated with this agency. It's a great group of people.
Yeah, sure is.
Thanks for all you've done, and we're so excited that you're going to have extra time to get out in the field now.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, this is Tennessee WildCast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Keep coming back, keep watching, and keep listening, and we'll see you next time.
Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org. And follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can invest in Tennessee's wildlife future by purchasing a license at GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. That's GoOutdoorsTennessee.com.